Hi, Statesman Nation. You are inside the Playbook. We are here in the Oskaloosa News studio and part of Penn Central Mall. Once again, thanks to Ken and Ginger also for allowing us to use their studio, and we're extremely excited. It's homecoming week, guys, so we're going to get into it here.
Favorite week of the year.
Favorite week of the year, yeah.
Favorite weekend, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, before we start talking about all the homecoming festivities, all the excitement, let's recap last week, and we don't have anything football to talk about, so we're gonna skip that right away.
Good rest for the fellas.
That's right. Good rest. Yeah.
So what's up next then?
Women's volleyball.
So women's volleyball playing. This year is the first time, I believe, that they've played in the Grandview tournament.
Yeah,
first time in a while.
Yeah, first time in a while. Probably.
Grandview tournament, one of the more competitive tournaments.
Definitely.
In the Midwest. Unfortunately, the girls did not pick up a win there, but there was glimpses of some good things that I saw. You were there as well, so you may have seen some things. But started off on Friday against Huntington. They lost 3-1. They took the first set. Really played well in the first set against Huntington. Unfortunately, couldn't close it out, or lost the second set, but then came back in sets 3 and 4, kept it close.
Right.
I mean, they had opportunities to win both those sets that I thought, but unfortunately they were unable to finish, and they took a 3-1 loss. Saw some good things from Corinne Lepper and Libby Zorn. Corinne had 10 kills while hitting at a 381. She's been really hitting the ball well as of late. Libby Zorn, 15 kills. I mean, having her back into the mix these last few games after missing for an injury has been integral for their offense. And then against John Brown, really kept it close all 3 sets, but once again unable to finish. Something that we saw them start to do in their games leading up to this, but kind of reverted back to where they were as far as not finishing. They actually had a 22-21 lead in the third set, but the John Brown defense really stepped up, and they ended up
closing it out.
Closing it out with the last 4 points. And then against number 4, Viterbo, one of the best in the nation, hence the number 4 ranking. We lost in straight sets, but we got to see some things out of some players that got an opportunity to get in there, and we'll get more to that in a minute. But Hannah Williams got some good experience, as well as Becca Eves and Ashley Porter. They all had an impact and got to get some experience there, and then they returned to Hart play against Graceland on Tuesday, and they took it to them. They took it to them offensively, took it to them defensively. I was really impressed with their defense. They did not let many balls hit the ground. In fact, 9 different players tallied a dig, which is pretty incredible and a testament.
Yeah, and I was going to say, doing the broadcast for that, watching the live stats, I believe the third set, Graceland hit negative in terms of attack percentage.
Only had 9 points, so definitely wasn't a good one for them.
Yeah, and I was going to get into that. Third set was arguably their best set they had played all season. Graceland, not the best of teams that they're going to play, but still a team that you had to take care of, and a team that they really took it to. They ended up winning the match 3-1. In that third set, Justin mentioned, we hit 400 while holding them to the negative. So not only did we play well defensively, we played well offensively, and that really showed us something. And going into this match, Graceland was the top blocking team in the Hart, which is impressive. And then they also have a couple girls that can really hit the ball. So I think our team really stepped up all the way around. Lepper finished with 11 kills, Hekez finished with 9, and Zorn finished with 9, so a really balanced offensive attack. It was just something that Coach Cleaver had talked to me about after, that she really enjoyed watching, was just, the balanced offensive attack, everybody getting in the mix defensively. Campbell finished with 25 digs. I mean, she's putting together a heck of a season. I think it's like 8, or I don't know how many on the season.
I'm not sure where you're going with this.
480 or something like that. I think
yeah,
she's at 480.
She's over 400.
Yeah, 480 total digs, which is, she ranks in the top 25 in the nation as far as total digs go. So she's continuing her great first year.
Emergence.
As a member of a Statesman.
Well, somebody needed to step up for Bam. Bam being gone, we're wondering that's going to be the weakest, potentially the weakest spot on the court, and Cam has definitely stepped in and done a really good job.
And she was, battling for a spot in the preseason, and she eventually won the spot. And now she's just really coming into her own, playing with a lot of confidence. And she does some things a little differently than Bam, but she also does some things that maybe a little better than Bam. So I mean,
I won't let Bam know that, but yeah.
No, I mean that's just what I've heard from the coach.
No,
even Bam herself, she's does some things better.
Right there.
She plays with a lot of confidence. You can see that she controls the court really well. She's a really good leader and has a lot of good talk from the back row.
Yeah, and that's something. I mean, Bam is one of the best volleyball players we've ever had in our history, and the fact that Cam is right after another coming in and filling in those shoes nicely, really says a lot.
It's a libero U here at William Penn, right?
Yeah. And then just keeping that foot on the gas pedal in the fourth set of that Graceland game. Didn't want to let Graceland back into it. In fact, Graceland, credit to them, they trimmed the Statesman lead 15-14, but then William Penn countered and they scored 10 of the last 12 points to really close it out and take that win that they needed to keep their hopes alive for conference tournament.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Justin.
No, the only thing I would say is watching that one, I was impressed by Zorn as the game went on. In the beginning, you didn't really see her, but at the end, she was really striking the ball well. Yeah,
and I also wanted to say Hannah Williams stepped up and she got a couple of big kills. We mentioned she got some good experience against Viterbo, a very good Viterbo team. Came in and I thought she really played well. She really filled in a need with Cecily injured, which she should be back. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah.
And but yeah, Hannah filled in nicely, and it's like she'd play there all season.
Yeah, I was gonna say, look, part of the team.
Yeah.
Considering that we have really just one true defensive player, nothing against the other individuals, but just Cam being the only one in the back row, as good as the defense looked on Tuesday. Again, Graceland, and it's not Viterbo, it's not Grandview, but that she was able to lead a really good defensive effort says a lot. Now, hopefully get Cecily back sometime very soon. That can only make us stronger. Everybody's kind of coming in their own a little bit. We've figured out some things, hopefully, from last weekend, getting drubbed a couple times by some really top programs in John Brown and Viterbo. The team's going to be right there in the mix of making the conference tournament. They're going to need to beat, including tonight. I mean, this is really a must-win against Mid-American Nazarene. If they can beat the Pioneers down in Kansas, they should be able to have really good matches against Clark and Mount Mercy, but a 3-1 end, I think, is how we looked at it. 3-1 end puts you at 9 wins in the conference. That's probably going to put you in the top 8 overall.
And going back to that Grayson game, I just want to mention the effort by Casey Rakusana as well.
Yeah,
she had 11 digs, but it came up. She was just backing everybody up. I mean, she was just there when she was where she needed to be at all times, and she had a really good game.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, no, it was a good outing for them, and hopefully that will spur them to a really successful end. Just only a couple weeks left, so.
And they got to ring the victory bell for the first time.
That's right.
That was a cool little ad. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice way to start homecoming. Get that homecoming week. Excuse me. Getting that win, getting to ring the victory bell. That's going to be rung extremely much harder, I would assume, on Saturday. Corinne didn't give it much of a ring, so. I think she was worried she was going to break it or something.
Yeah,
hard to break a bell.
Expect that thing to get rung awfully hard on Saturday.
Against, shout out to SGA for getting that thing redone, repainted, and bringing it back. It's a great touch.
It's a brand new one, actually. We couldn't find the old one, unfortunately.
Well, they painted it.
But brought back the traditions. All about this week is traditions continued or continuing traditions or whatever. So it's really cool to bring that back. All right, I'll switch gears here, talking about men's soccer now. A team that is poised to make a run at nationals, keeps on winning. Did what they needed to do this past week. Mid-American Nazarene on Saturday beat them 2-1. Had an early deficit. Came back a few minutes later. Bernardo Lima coming down the left-hand side, gets tackled in the box. Bernardo, as he's done, I think 5 times this year, 5 for 5, puts in the PK even. Probably a little harder game than it needed to be. Mesquita ends up giving us the lead for good in the second half off a throw-in by, guess who, Donnie Messina, because that's what he does. And then, taking the 2-1 win, and it was good, very good MNU team that we needed to beat and did. Austin Munoz has been extremely inactive, and I mean that in a good way, because obviously the defense has taken care of business, and the front 10 have done their job, and he hasn't. I think there's maybe 3 straight games where he hasn't had a save, which is crazy. I know at least 2 of those games he didn't even have to record a save. He's just been back there and kind of watching the play develop in front of him. So good win there. You guys saw more of that. I only got there right at the end, but if you want to, or actually I got there after it was over. talk about that game a little bit if you want to.
Yeah, it was the Saturday windy, blustery game,
Yeah,
which we'll mention in a moment in the women's game, impacting it more. But it was still a really good Mid-American Nazarene team, very strong defensively, and they played in a similar formation to us, so they really could counter well because wingbacks were matched up with wingbacks, so they could run down the field against each other. So it was actually a challenge for the Statesmen to get it down the field at times. And in that first half, they really weren't sure what they were doing offensively.
And we were going into the win, too.
Yeah,
so,
but then the second half, complete turnaround. As far as my memory serves, Mid-Am did not get a shot away, or it was only one, and it wasn't on target in that second half. And that was something Jamie Hawcock was really pleased about. His team stepping up defensively in the second half, really controlling things. It wasn't dominant. You weren't sitting there going, oh, we're bound to get the goal here in the next couple minutes. It was still good credit to the Pioneers for keeping things interesting, but towards the end, you started to see our pressure build, and eventually Amasquita gets the goal. And then we kind of cruised and pressured our way into the victory, and a big one that you need to take care of at home.
Yeah, definitely. So got that win, and then you go up to Dubuque last night, actually playing Clark, a winless team in the heart. Figure you're going to take care of business, and we did, fortunately. Beat them 5-0, not near as high as we thought it potentially could have been, but that's all right. A win's a win, doesn't matter. A couple of goals by Eduardo Bonato, a couple by Kendi Davisca, one more by Bernardo Lima, the guys that seem to just score. They all seem to score at will this year, and easy win there. And now we're 12-3, 7-1 in the conference, continue to be ranked 14th, and right in position to really, I think, maybe one more win. Honestly, one more win will probably do it, and it might not even be one more. We might be in position already that we've done enough to be in the top 48 to be at nationals. So, Coach Highcock's team's just taking care of it on the men's side. Let's switch it over to the women's side.
I will say real quick for the men, good to see Kenzie Davidska score. It had been a few games since he had found the back of the net, so I think that would hopefully get him going again, a couple goals in that one. The women, same schedule. They were the most affected by the wind on Saturday. It was absolutely howling. A couple of the flags almost were blowing out of the poles around midfield. And they were going with the win the first half. I don't know if that's what Jamie Highcock wanted or not. I guess maybe so. If you get the win, you just go for it, get a few goals, and then turtle up and hold the second half. They played pretty well, and this Mid-Am team that they played was also pretty good. I think they were receiving votes.
They're receiving votes, yeah. Yep.
And so it was really even between the two. And Mid-Am got the first goal, and they were going into the win. You're like, uh-oh, this isn't good. But Statesmen come back. Zoe Ganley gets her second goal of the year. Beautiful shot. So it's 1-1. They give up another goal, though. It's 2-1. And then going against the wind, they could do, unfortunately, absolutely nothing. Couldn't shoot a ball down the field because the wind would just literally stop it and start blowing it backwards. Yeah. They found it challenging to pass through the midfield, and so they end up taking a 5-1 loss. But there were positives, especially in that first half. It looked like the team was up to the task, and that would be, I think, the biggest gain is how this team is progressing through the year, especially since we've mentioned a few times there's a majority of sophomore and freshmen and a few juniors starting compared to the number of seniors starting, which bodes well for the next couple of years. Then they also go up to play Clark last night, which was a game I think you had to win.
Yeah.
They're 1-7 in the heart, and Clark was sitting at 2 wins. There's a couple teams on 3. You beat Clark. Now you're saying, okay, then you can beat Graceland. Okay, if you beat these, all right, we can maybe climb into the postseason contention. It was not bad. It was a good defensive effort. Vanessa Hamilton made 10 saves, which is great for her. She had kind of been up and down the first couple starts. This is, I believe, her third start in a row. Maybe so. Second start in a row.
Second start or third.
Yeah, third game. Second start in a row. Either way, good performance by her, but the offense again just couldn't quite click. They struggled defending corner kicks as well, which Jamie Highcock mentioned to us in his post-game conversation. Yeah. And it turns into a loss in that there's still a glimmer of light at the tunnel to maybe try and get in, but a lot of things would have to go right for this team. So if they could get some offense going this weekend, perhaps some turnaround and some good momentum for the final 2 games of the year.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely a chance. They're not mathematically out of it yet, but everything pretty much has to go their way, including win over Graceland. So it's Graceland all day, all the time on Saturday with 11 o'clock start for the women, 1:30 for the men, and then football at 2:30. So again, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Cross country wise, going down to Fayette, Missouri, competing in the Central Methodist Invite, which is going to be the host site next month for the conference meet. And the men finished 10th out of 10. Wasn't a great outing for them. I know Coach Goswich not real happy with the performance. Guys are both teams are a little beat up and just struggling a little bit right now. But Vernon Trozy doing Vernon Trozy's thing as a freshman, getting after it. He placed 18th overall. Michaela Kmek leading the women 41st. They unfortunately are really banged up. Not even enough individuals to go out and post a team score. So, but they got an opportunity to see quite a few hard teams. So they can see kind of where they match up a little bit when it comes conference time next month, and hopefully get themselves in the middle of the pack when it comes to that. Just under a month from now. Women's golf.
Women's golf was up at TPC Deer Run across the Mississippi River in Silvis, and again on Saturday, so the weather was playing havoc, and some of the scores were higher. Props, though, to the eventual individual champion, Brittany Evans, who shot 79 on Saturday, which was the lowest score of anyone for both days, and certainly by far the lowest score on day one. Otherwise, scores for the Statesmen were above average for the most part, and they had just about 10-shot lead going into the second day. Sunday was much better. It was still cool, and there was still some wind, but it was not anything that would really affect a golfer too terribly. And the Statesmen really played well. Alexis Guimarães got the low round of Sunday with an 83. Everyone else was kind of in and around that territory, and they ended up beating Mount Mercy by 17 to take the team victory, and Brittany Evans held on for the individual victory. Jacqueline
Wojciechowski.
Yes.
I'm going to go with Wojciechowski.
Yes.
Sure that's how it is.
I was hesitating on that. She plays.
Jackie W.
Yeah, Jackie got in there. Finished 6th, which was a top finish for her. And overall, a really good win for the Statesmen despite some challenges. And I know Coach Ryans was not necessarily thrilled with some of the scores, as they weren't perhaps the level that she was expecting, and she was definitely a little nervous sitting in the clubhouse on Sunday watching the scores come in, but it bodes well for the team going forward as they finish out the year.
Yeah, I know they were talking that it was an extremely tough course and extremely tough conditions, and you expect that the scores will be elevated. Probably not to that extent, obviously, but everybody's was. I mean, you had a team score.
7.
Yeah, somebody posted a 500,
Yeah.
which is that's tough to do, but also that course will bring unfortunately the worst out of you, and the reason pros play there, man, it's tough.
Yeah, I think that had something to do with it. Is a couple, I was talking to, I'm not sure if it was one of the coaches or someone, but that mentality of, we're on a pro course where the PGA is playing, Jordan Spieth won here, and it's kind of narrow. There's a lot of trees that are just inviting you to get your ball lost in the woods, and I think that played into some of the unforced errors, if you will call it that.
Yeah.
And Brittany Evans taking the individual crown, she was also our statesman to watch. So
man,
good call by us.
Yeah, you didn't jinx her. That was a good job. That could have gone bad, but I don't blame you. No, it's a good win. Good way to go into the final meet of the year. So on the other side of golf, the men's golf team competing at the Baker match play. So they had a really interesting, and we'll have a couple of individuals on later in the show that can talk about this, but they played in the match play Monday and Tuesday. Came in as the number 4 seed, 8 teams total, so they were guaranteed they were going to get 3 matches. And how they looked at it, came out, beat Rockhurst JV, smoked them 4.5 to a half. Then unfortunately lost to the number 1 seed Central Baptist 4-1 in the semis to drop into the 3rd place match, and then also lost 4-1 to host Baker in the 3rd place match. Spencer Tucker goes 2-1, and then Oliver Stanway also 2-1. So had some good stuff. Just a kind of a fun way to cap off the year. Again, actually we have both those individuals coming in later, so they can talk more about the experience they got out of it, and how that's going to prepare them, help them for upcoming tournaments and everything. But just be fun just to play something different, go head to head, kind of Ryder Cup it up, and see what how you can perform. So I think that's everything from last week. Last, I guess, non-competition wise, men's basketball starting last night, had a scrimmage against Southeastern Community College. Looked like they had some good stuff, knocking off a lot of rust, a lot of new individuals coming into the fold. So we'll see, where this team is. We'll be tracking them, but there's a lot of athleticism.
Yeah, a lot of athleticism, a lot of shooting, a lot of being able to space the floor, normal. Kind of not normal, but standard William Penn basketball.
Yeah. A lot of expectations with this team. Again, you hate to put so many expectations on a team that has so many new guys, but they showed a lot of cool stuff last night, and they're going to be fun to watch this year. Then I think it was on Sunday, excuse me, women's basketball played in the Kirkwood Jamboree. I think they faced Kirkwood, maybe not Kirkwood. I think it was Marshalltown, like some other DMAC, and I think Ellsworth community colleges, and came away with 3 wins. That doesn't matter excuse me, about the wins, but I know Coach Williamson was excited about what he saw. Saw a lot of good stuff out of some freshmen that he wasn't sure what they were going to be, and he's really high on some of those new individuals. He's really excited about what some of like Kata Latello and Brenda Pennington, some of the returners, how they looked and what they're going to bring to the team this year. So it's a good start for winter sports on that end. And
last thing I think was women's lacrosse had a scrimmage on the field opposite of soccer on Saturday, which was fun to watch a little bit.
Yeah, against Upper Iowa D2 school. I mean, I don't recall what the final
score
was, but I know there was a lot of good things to be seen there as well.
Yeah, I know they're really excited. Coach Smeek and Coach Christy Hansen excited about the women's side. The men, they inter-squatted on Saturday, and somebody came away with a win. Obviously, it was either Navy or gold. So, but I know they're excited about going into the winter and getting better and be ready for the first year. So, excuse me, frog in the throat. All right, well, we're good for recaps. We'll come back to previews in a minute and later on in the show. When we come back, we will have a couple of men's golfers in the studio, Oliver Stanway and Spencer Tucker. You are inside the playbook.
The student community at William Penn made an impression on me. It's a real statement that you can come here and be part of something real.
You have the opportunity to participate in activities, to be involved, to make a difference on campus.
The coaches are awesome. It's easy to play for coaches that care about you. It gets more effort out of you because you appreciate what they do.
The real experiences at Penn have helped shape who I'm going to be when I graduate. I work harder because I want to be part of the conversation in class.
William Penn gives me the freedom to be who I am now and the tools for who I want to be.
Diversity runs deep at William Penn.
Not only in the student body, which is made up of people from all over the world,
but also in the diverse opportunities for hands-on learning.
The equipment you get to use is legit. The experiences here will help me get a job when I graduate.
I am a leader.
I am a trailblazer.
I'm proud to be a statesman.
William Penn University. Make a statement, be a statesman.
Oskaloosa. It's our community, and we're thankful to be a part of it. Telling its stories, sharing its smiles. We're building community, keeping you informed, giving you a voice, letting you know you're never alone during the victories and the losses, happiness and pain. For tomorrow's a new day, and we'll be there, working for you, ready to tell your story. That's our commitment. It's what we do, now and in the future, because we're always on. We're Oskaloosa News.
Oliver Stanway out of England. Leicestershire. I was like, oh, I'm going to get it wrong. I couldn't remember. That's what I was thinking. Oliver Stanway out of England, senior, and also sophomore men's golfer Spencer Tucker right here in Oskaloosa. So I know I can get that one right. Thanks, guys, for joining me for a few minutes. All right, let's talk about the fall a little bit. Interesting fall, to say the least. I know you guys are not at full strength, but hey, you competed really well. I think you guys should be proud of some, definitely a lot of those tournaments out there. Let's rewind just a couple of days and talk about that match play event. Oliver, you've done it before. Both of you have done it. You probably have a little more experience. Let's talk about switching up the whole format a little bit.
It was definitely different, but coming into the year, obviously we were a bit weaker with eligibility and stuff like that, and we struggled all through the year. A lot of pressure was on our top 3 guys because our 4 and 5 were a little bit weaker this year, so we didn't really have any time to be playing bad. We had to play well all the time. There was a lot of pressure. So going into that event, whereas a match play where it's not stroke play, you've not got a card, you're not always thinking about your score, and you're playing against someone else, it brings the best out in you. Because you can play a bad hole and then pick your ball up and completely forget about it. Just focus on the next thing. So I think for the guys like me, Spencer and Oscar, who we've had a struggle up and down, I think to end the year on a match play where we can get some confidence coming back for next semester, then that's really good. I think coach had a really good idea going into that, especially for Spencer, because Spencer struggled through the year and then played really, really well, beat some really good guys this last week. So, I mean, what do you think?
I think it was a good event for our team to go to, just go and finish the year off with a fun event. It's not really much pressure going into it, I'd say. Like, we brought David Decker to play, and he likes coming and traveling with us. He's just a fun guy to have around. And I had a lot of fun playing. We got to run into a top 20 team, so that was nice. And just playing against guys that are good is a good change of things. Like at the Spirit Hollow tournament a couple weeks ago, we kind of played with some off teams, and it's kind of hard to keep your game together when you're playing with guys that can't keep their game together. But yeah, it was a good event.
Talk about the mentality that's different. I mean, you kind of mentioned this a little bit, Ali, about, you can have one bad hole and then bounce right back and say, it's over, it doesn't matter. But at a certain point, if you have a couple too many bad holes, now you're way behind, and now like you're really pressing. Hey, shoot, I'm down 4 with 5 holes left. I have to win it out. And does that totally change your mentality of now I have to really risk something?
Yeah, sometimes. Well, my first match, it was really tight the whole way through. So I had to concentrate the whole way through. Keep concentrating. But then my second match, he was a really good player, and he started really well. I didn't start too hot, and all of a sudden I was down 4. And I was running out of holes, and I was like, wow, okay. And it's kind of, I don't know. But some senses you can be that really mentally tough guy and say, I'm not letting this guy beat me, and fight back. And sometimes it can tip you over the edge and just be like, I've lost.
I feel like it can snowball either way. If you're in a lead, it can just keep pushing you, and then depending on what side you're on.
He was just playing really, really well. So even if I had a putt to win, or he had the putt to half, he would be making those putts, and then you see it go, you're like, and then it defeats you inside, for sure. But I had it on the third day. I fought all the way, had a bad hole, and he would win the hole, and then I have another bad hole, and he would win the hole. Then I'd come back because I'd already forgotten about all that stuff. So that in that match, it was the opposite.
Spencer.
My first match, I got 5 up through 5 holes really fast, and so I just took a deep breath, and it was pretty easy to finish out that match. I won 7 and 6, but then I knew upcoming that I had a good kid I had to beat, and I went 2 down right through 2 holes to start the match, and then kind of leveled it out, got back to about 1 down with 9 holes to play, and then I had a really hard lip out to tie up the match and be all square with 5 holes left to go, and then Ollie said to the kid, he said, "You're gonna lose." The kid. And then I went on to win the next 3 holes to win 3 and 2 against him. And I think it kind of helped I think I started hitting the ball a little better, and he kind of got a little shaky over the ball, and then it doesn't help when a kid tells you you're gonna lose.
Right.
And the final day, I got 3 down through 6 holes, and I just knew I had to turn around, and it took me a couple holes to get back, but then I was all square with 3 holes left. I had a eagle on a hole, he had a birdie, so that was good. And then I think I got him a little on his edges, but hit a bad shot on a hole and lost the hole, and then walked away 1 down. But it was a good experience to play in that tournament.
Like I said, just the approach to it is normally you're going out and trying to beat the course, right? This is the one time where you're saying, I want to beat the player. I don't care if he has if I have a 9, he just has to have a 10, right? obviously, I hope that doesn't happen, but yeah, a little bit different. So yeah, again, cool way to end out the fall season. Wrap it up a little bit and talk about the fall. Again, it was one that, I know you guys didn't perform the way you wanted to, but individually wise, that's what you have to worry about or really look at it for this fall. Okay, we're going to get stronger, but how can I'm assuming that's what Coach would have said this year. Like, you guys just concentrate on yourselves. When we get stronger, then you're going to already be stronger. These guys will add to us and complement you, and then we'll be so much better come March.
That's the whole mentality we've got. I wouldn't say we had a bad year.
No, not at all.
Bad year, but it was a hard year. Hardest. I've been here 3 semesters now. Hardest by far. I mean, from the start, we knew we were behind almost. We were taking this year. It was going to be a struggle. We were probably going to get down ourselves, get a bit angry, get frustrated, which we did. I mean, we both did plenty of times. But now it's done. It is now looking for the next semester. We've got Jace, who's a transfer coming in. He's a really good player, and obviously Juan, who came last year. But he's coming back from some problems in the classroom. And then we've got about 3 or 4 new guys as well, who are all on that border of 5, 6, 7, 8 back. So the thing we've always struggled with is strength and depth. We've never had 10 players that are really good. So next semester we'll have the chance. So say if I'm playing really bad, I can say, Coach, I'm not feeling it. Put whoever in, and that can give me a break to work on things, and then give someone else an opportunity. So I think having strength and depth is a huge thing in golf. And when we see the good teams, they've got that. They've got 5 more players at home. They could all bring. Yeah. And I think that's the thing we struggle with. So going into next semester, knowing that your mates, they've got your back, and they're going to be able to play for you. That's the thing we struggle with, and I think that is going to make the difference for sure.
Yeah. Spencer, talk about the as William Penn is diverse, and you guys' team is totally diverse. You and Austin are local guys. You got a bunch of these Eddyville guys coming up this year, and then you obviously have the international feel. I mean, you guys are truly the melting pot of for a team. How much have you guys been able to feed off each other with other experiences and et cetera, and just how's that been going on? I know golf's not you don't have to worry about team chemistry as much, but you still do. You need to trust that your teammate's going to work hard, that he will take care of his business, so you don't have to worry about yours. But how's the team chemistry been coming along?
I mean, I love having the international guys on the team. It's really cool to hear what they've been through and how different it is in their countries. Like Bruno came here from Spain this year, from a little island over in Spain, and he actually came out and played pretty well in his first tournament, which I was surprised because, I mean, I was really nervous for my first tournament as a freshman and coming to a completely different country. But I think we kind of have our cliques on the team, if that makes sense. Like, a lot of the Iowa boys kind of stick together. Yeah. Like, I've known Jace Mueller and then our GA Zach Swing for 5-6 years, and so I kind of hang out with them, and then Austin too. And then you kind of have Juan, Oscar, and Bruno. They all live together in a house, so then they're kind of together, and then you got the dorm guys that hang out. But I mean, I think all of us really like each other, like especially as top guys. We have a lot of fun on tournaments. Yeah. And then my dad's also very good about being a fun coach, but at the same time, like getting down to business when we actually need to.
Yeah, coaching with your dad back in the day, I always remember. If anything, Steve's going to be fun for sure. Yeah. So, all right, you alluded to it, so we're going to talk about your dad a little bit since he's not here, so we get to make fun of him all we want, and he can't do anything about it. So, all right, let's talk favorite dad moment first, and then talk about favorite coach moment. So, it doesn't have to be the favorite, but something like, hey, this epitomizes who my dad is.
I mean, growing up, my dad taught me and my brothers all how to play golf. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. He's got all of us into the game, got all of us pretty good at the game. I mean, he didn't start playing golf till he was a little older, like 19, 20 years old. So to come from that and then teach all of your kids how to be like solid golfers is cool. And then my favorite coaching moment probably this year so far is just at his last tournament. You know, he has to go around and watch kind of everybody play. Yep. But he stopped by to watch me play the 17th at the Baker course, and it was a 307-yard par 4, and I was down in my match, so I just hit a 2-iron off the tee, had about a 60-yard wedge shot, and hit a little flop shot over the bunkers and made it. And him and Swink were standing there, so that was pretty cool because they got a clap and kind of got the match going a little bit better. Yeah. So that was a good experience this season.
I couldn't really say a favourite moment. I mean, it's just the way he is.
Yeah.
He is amazing, really. When I'm on the golf course, I'm crying up and down, frustrated, happy, frustrated, happy. And when I see Coach, it's like, what's up? Like, it just talks to me about anything, not even the golf. And it's the way he is, and his demeanour is also calm and no stress. And just for me, anyway, that's really good. So my favourite moment is when I see him on the golf course. He's like, what's up? You want some water? Or if I hit a bad shot, he'll just laugh at me, stuff like that. But yeah, that's my favourite thing about Coach.
I feel like he's sitting in his back pocket just a whole ton of jokes that he's gonna say or something.
Amazing.
You know,
he's
whatever.
just like one of the team, isn't he? Like, when we all talk to him like one of the teammates, he talks to us. We're all on the same level together, which I think is really important.
Yeah.
He's not up top and demanding these things. He works with us. What's best for each player. So it's really good for that.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think in golf, it's different for every sport. It's mental, and you can't give that shouting pep talk. You have to be calm. You can't put things in people's heads and stuff like that.
Yeah, golf's not one where you can go out and just be
angry.
going 100 miles an hour when you start, and then you got 10 shots out of bounds for sure. All right, expectations for the spring. Now that, well, putting the cart in front of the horse here, assuming everything's going to go fine, and we want to back this up. We don't want to say that the guys that are in academic issues, it's not because they were dumb. They were a little bit dumb because they didn't figure out their hours, but they had good GPAs. So I want to clarify that right there. Men's golf, very strong GPA. You guys have done a great job the last few years.
It was just transferring credits.
Yeah, and just some of that weird stuff that just happened. So assuming everything comes together and you've got the guys in the spots where you need to be, what are the expectations for the spring? What are you guys hoping to accomplish?
Win conference. That's the main goal, is to win conference and go to nationals, because that is the only way we can go.
Yeah.
Which I believe is very, very achievable. Probably more achievable than last semester. But yeah, that is the main goal, and then it's just small goals from there. First tournament and second tournament, just setting goals as we go. But that is being said, if we get our top five, our ideal top five, winning conference is a must.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah, I know when Coach mentioned that, he said we're just going to put ourselves, unfortunately, too far behind the card here to start with Penn April. I don't know why I said card. Penn April too early here, and we're just going to have to win it. Yeah. And it's not going to be easy. I mean, Mount Mercy's solid. Grandview's obviously considerably improved what they had been last year. Missouri Valley is probably the top of it. And then there's a whole bunch of other teams that are real solid. Baker's obviously solid. Culver Stockton's going to be good, et cetera, et cetera. So you guys are going to get your work cut out for you, but fully believe that you can do it. How important is it going to be to, you know, just like everybody else in the Midwest, you guys are going to be put inside for a few months. How important is the off season going to be?
It's just about actually getting into the gym and practicing.
Yeah.
Like, we did a pretty good job last winter of hitting balls consistently, day-to-day basis, and then hopefully we get that putting green put up in that gym, and so we can, because I think coming out of the winter it's hard to putt.
Yeah.
Like, you're fresh hitting balls, but then you get out on the greens and you gotta get back to used to your stroke and your everything like that, and it's kind of just different putting on like just turf.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, I think the expectations are maybe a little higher than they should be right now. Like, we don't want to put pressure on the guys coming up, but at the same time they need to know what they need to do.
Yeah.
Which will be taking 8 guys to tournaments that are going to compete, 3 individuals and 5 good players, and make people earn their spots, which will be different from the last year and this season. No one had to earn anything really. You just kind of got to play, and if you play bad, you're still going to play the next week. But hopefully that'll change.
Yeah, I think that competition is going to be huge for you guys. Nobody's going to be able to just settle in a position. Okay, I'm number 1. Well, if you have a bad tournament, though, now all of a sudden you can drop out of the top 5 just because there's going to be 3 other guys that are dying to get back in that top 5. So
get complacent with it.
Yeah.
You lose your spot.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. All right, guys, you ready? Furious 4 time?
Go on. 4
random questions. Okay, these are going to come literally off the top of my head, but I am not ready. So, all right, Oliver Stanway. What's your favorite ice cream?
Mint chocolate chip.
Okay, mint chocolate chip. I've heard a lot of that. Because it must be a generational thing or something. Mint chocolate chip or cookie dough, I think is the other one. All right, Spencer Tucker. What's your dream car?
1965 Mustang.
Okay, we're ready for that one. Certain color?
Red.
Red. Okay. Oliver Stanway, where is your favorite dream vacation? What's your dream vacation?
Santorini in Greece.
Okay.
kind of like
Gotcha.
Yeah, made it to a cliff. It's crazy. More of a honeymoon destination, but I guess me and Spencer.
You guys can honeymoon together. It's all good.
Coach Tucker can pay.
Right. There you go. All right, Spencer Tucker. Who has been the most inspirational person in your life?
My dad.
Okay. Elaborate. You can't just say your dad. You gotta give reasons.
He's a pretty successful man. He's got 8 kids, and he's.
And he survived you 8. That's the thing. Like you don't even know people. No, the Tucker kids kept. Surprisingly, he's stayed young. I'm surprised he doesn't look 180 after going through 8 of you. But
we all turned out all right.
You have, yeah, for sure. All right, Ollie, describe Coach Tucker in one word.
Relaxed.
Relaxed.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Easy day. That's what is that 2 words? That's like
it's hyphenated, so it counts. Yeah, hyphenated. We'll go with it. Okay. Spencer, do you have? No, I don't want to ask that one. Favorite breakfast? What would be your perfect breakfast?
Biscuits and gravy, a side of bacon, maybe some sausage and some eggs.
Okay. Cool. Ollie, last one for you. Why'd you choose William Penn?
I chose William Penn because of Coach Tucker. Coach Tucker gave me an opportunity that I couldn't resist. That's the reason why.
Okay, very cool. You were already in the States, so you have to clarify that. You were down in Texas, right?
Yeah, the reason I chose to come here was Coach Tucker's influence for sure.
Yeah, cool. All right, Spencer, last one for you. 2-part question. What's one thing that absolutely terrifies you, or one activity that absolutely terrifies you, and how much money would it take to actually do it?
Like running from spiders, probably.
Okay, so being around spiders.
No, like running.
Running from spiders.
Chase
Like, do you think spiders are gonna catch you? How slow are you?
In front of me.
Oh, surrounded by.
Okay, being surrounded. Okay, yeah.
And they're not like small ones.
Yeah.
I'm not a spider guy.
I gotcha. No, my wife's not either. So.
How much money?
Yeah, how much money would it take to be surrounded by spiders?
Depends on the size. I mean, for like decent sized ones, just like $1,000 probably.
Oh, only $1,000.
So,
but if they're little guys, then I could give you like $5 and just put a whole ton of little daddy long legs because they can't even bite you anyways. They can't hurt you.
Stomping on and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll get away at some point.
All right. Very cool. Okay. Thanks, guys, so much. Once again, it's Oliver Stanway and Spencer Tucker of the men's golf team. Best of luck next season, guys, or in the spring. When we come back, we'll bring Justin and Jared back, and we will preview next week's contest. You are inside the playbook.
Lovely.
The student community at William Penn made an impression on me. It's a real statement that you can come here and be part of something real.
You have the opportunity to participate in activities, to be involved, to make a difference on campus.
The coaches are awesome. It's easy to play for coaches that care about you. It gets more effort out of you because you appreciate what they do.
The real experiences at Penn have helped shape who I'm going to be when I graduate. I work harder because I want to be part of the conversation in class.
William Penn gives me the freedom to be who I am now and the tools for who I want to be.
Diversity runs deep at William Penn.
Not only in the student body, which is made up of people from all over the world,
but also in the diverse opportunities for hands-on learning.
The equipment you get to use is legit. The experiences here will help me get a job when I graduate.
I am a leader.
I am a trailblazer.
I'm proud to be a statesman.
William Penn University. Make a statement, be a statesman.
Oskaloosa. It's our community, and we're thankful to be a part of it. Telling its stories, sharing its smiles. We're building community, keeping you informed, giving you a voice, letting you know you're never alone during the victories and the losses, happiness and pain. For tomorrow's a new day, and we'll be there working for you, ready to tell your story. That's our commitment. It's what we do, now and in the future, because we're always on. We're Oskaloosa News.
Welcome back, Statesman Nation, as we preview this fun homecoming weekend here. All right, guys. Graceland, again, all day Saturday, starting with women at 11, men at 1:30, and football at 2:30. So let's go chronologically in that respect. Talk about the women's game, and we'll, for that matter, let's just go through all through Saturday, and then we'll come back around and talk about the individual sports again.
Yeah.
Actually, for soccer, this will be the only ones who are good. So
yeah, soccer will be playing against Graceland, as we said, and this was probably do or die for the women's team. Yep. If they can win, Graceland is just a couple spots, I should say, in the Hart standings above the Statesman team. If they could get that win and maybe a couple results go their way, then you might have another chance finishing out against Evangel for senior night and away to Missouri Valley. But those last two teams, though, are pretty hard. Evangel, one of the top teams in the conference. Missouri Valley, kind of about 500. So it's make or break it. They got to get out and get a win, and maybe with the boost from homecoming and playing hard will get them a win and give them at least another match day to get it. I think, Evangel's Wednesday?
Evangel's actually next Saturday.
Okay.
This is the only one we have of
well,
soccer this week. So, yeah. Then you get a lot of time off to sit there and look at Evangel and see what is this team. They're having a really good year, but they just got beat up pretty bad against Central Methodist last night, which they've been doing that to everybody. So not surprised at all. So on the men's side, then like I said, 1:30 start. Same Graceland team, and this is the team that's not bad. They're kind of in the middle, probably a little bit lower than what Mount Mercy and Mid-American Nazarene were the last couple games, and ahead of Clark, definitely, but not a team that is extremely talented or, but it could be a trap game. And you don't want to overlook it by any stretch, especially when you got a week off after that. Take care of business, enjoy the fact that you've got a huge crowd behind you for homecoming. Hopefully there's a lot of alum back for that, and they can boost them, and just get the win, enjoy your week off, and hopefully maybe you gain a couple spots and you go up against Evangel, a team that's not very good. I think they're also winless, or they have one win now. I think that they are winless. Beat them, at that point, then it's a foregone conclusion that you're going to nationals. Now it's can you possibly get in the top 16 and be a team that hosts in that opening round? So that's putting the cards way in front, but we don't have to worry about that. Take care of Graceland, and I think they can definitely do that the way they've been playing lately. So
with the men, I mean, they're in a really good spot right now, as we've been talking about in recent weeks. Really, like we talked about it a lot last week, getting to truly take it game by game, worry about the game that's upcoming. The ladies are in a unfortunate position where they're having to look ahead a little bit. If we win this one, who do we have next?
We have to win this, and this.
Yeah.
And instead of just looking, we win this. And they got to look at a lot of stuff. Yeah.
And with the men, just continuing to stay healthy. I do not know, did Donnie play last night?
Yeah, he did.
He did play? Okay, because I know he had exited that game with last Saturday. Who did he play again? Mid-Am. Yeah, he had a little bit of a back spasm issue, which obviously him being able to throw the ball so far really, I'm sure it takes a toll on the back. And so him, continuing to stay healthy, the team continuing to stay healthy as they, look towards the postseason.
Yeah, for sure. All right, and then football will round out the day. Hopefully we can get a perfect sweep there, and they are likely the best chance to get the win. So soccer takes care of business. We go into, and I don't want to take anything away from Graceland, but statistically not a team that should give us a lot of fits. If we play like we did 2 weeks ago, and that we have the last few weeks, and to be honest, for most of the year, minus a couple quarters, we could be a team that's 5-1 if we could finish off a couple of games, and we definitely did the last couple of games against definitely Missouri Valley last time out. So it's going to be a very different beast where you're looking at we want to run 95% of the time, and they want to pass 95% of the time. We just need to, I guess, pretty much be disciplined and let the Hounds run loose up on the line. Rashawn Coleman had 3.5 sacks last game. He's going to want 3.5 more. He's already got the school record.
Yeah,
he might as well add another 5 or 6 or 7 by the time he graduates.
High.
Yeah.
And very, very young Graceland team.
Yep.
But, you know, I feel like this Statesman team is, you know, they're really ready to go on a run here.
Yeah.
We've seen their play improve drastically over the last few weeks and able to really finish. They've sorted some things out. Now they understand what it feels like to win, how to finish off those quarters and finish off those games. And I look forward to a very, very good homecoming for the Statesmen.
Yeah, definitely. And again, that starts North Division play, so you get a win right there. Then you're going to have the toughest team against Grandview. But, hey, get a win now. Keep on building on your confidence. Keep on building on the success you've had recently. So 2:30 start again there, Statesman Community Stadium. Then, you know, cross country's off. I think you just have women's golf.
Women's golf is going off. They play down in the Ozarks of Missouri, and it's Osage.
Osage National.
Osage, yeah, okay. I didn't want to pronounce that wrong. Osage National Golf Course, which is actually 3 9-hole courses, which is a little different compared to some other things. They have some holes designed by Arnold Palmer, which is one of their big claims to fame, but it's not one set 18-hole course. They're broken into 3 little 9-hole things. There's a course back home that I've seen that is like that. Just gives it a little different feel. It runs by the river. There's a good number of water hazards. Also has some stuff that is narrow kind of in the trees. So a little like TPC Deer Run that they just played, but also offers a couple different things that they will get to experience. The weather looking like it might rain on Saturday, but it will be sunny and in the 70s on Sunday. So regardless of what happens Saturday with the weather, I'd expect the Statesmen to come out shooting really, really well on Sunday with ideal conditions.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what the field looks like, but it should be pretty heavy on Hart teams because this is the Hart championship preview, basically. So, you know, got to see what, you know, Mount Mercy can do there, or Grandview, or Baker. Those are probably the big 3 that have a chance to upset William Penn in the spring. So it'd be interesting just to see where we can, what we can do, get a feel of the course, and be ready for next April. So women's volleyball.
Yeah, women's volleyball, a couple of big matches coming down the pipe for the ladies. Against some two quality opponents, and 2 matches that they need to keep their hopes alive as we move towards the conference tournament. First, we have Mid-America tonight. Mid-America is 17-9, 8-4 in the Heart. I believe they're second in the South Division.
Should be, yeah.
This is the first time these 2 teams are meeting this year. I was talking to Coach Cleaver yesterday. She really thinks we match up well with them. Them and then Clark on next Tuesday, I believe it is. It's a home game. It's a home game in Oskaloosa. Clark, very, very good, 20-7, 7-5 in the Heart. We played them back on October 1st, lost 3-0, but once again, another one of those matches where Coach Cleaver really likes the way we match up. And we weren't completely healthy in that game with Clark, having, you know, Libby Zorn and, you know, Cecily and some of those players back against them. Looking forward. And we have on our home court, we feel like we've played significantly better on our home court than on the road. So we'll see if that has any sort of impact. And two matches that I think the coaches believe are very winnable, and I think that are very winnable. And matches, you know, when we play with our backs up against the wall, I feel like we've played better. And let's see how it goes.
Yeah, and if the defense showed like it did this past week against Graceland, they're going to be in it. We have enough hitters. You know, we can spot the ball, etc. But if we can keep the ball going on our end and put it down there, we have a chance.
You know, once again, I mean, Graceland, you know, take away their record and everything, that win over Graceland was a very good win. I mean, like we said, they were the top blocking team in the Heart.
Which is surprising. I didn't see that on Tuesday when you.
I think I told you, Ron. They have the most service aces, and we are actually.
Okay, well that makes a little more sense.
I totally reversed
So I was like,
that.
I didn't see them having any blocks.
That was on me because I did the research beforehand for the broadcast, and then I told you, and I totally flip flopped in my mind. So my bad on that.
Well, regardless, a very good when they have one of the the top outsides in the conference. I know.
Emma Runyon is a solid player, but she unfortunately is about the only one that they had.
Yeah.
And once we were able to slow her down, it made it for a lot easier, especially the third and fourth sets. We were able to roll through, but do or die.
Apologize for that misinformation.
Is that it?
I think bowling is in action in Indianapolis this weekend. The Columbia 300 Western Championship. So we'll see how they do on their second go for a tournament.
Yeah, I think they probably learned a lot from that first tournament. You know, they're figuring out who fits where, who can step up in certain places. It's a long, long season for bowling, so they don't have to figure anything out in October. But it's nice to you know, get another one under the belt and just see who they are, who's gonna be in a position to step up from. I think they're also bringing a JV team on the men's side as well, so that'll be good to see if, you know, maybe one of those individuals can also be pushing for a varsity spot as well. So, and wish them the best of luck. They'll do well. Guarantee they'll be in the top half. I'll put it down right now. They'll be in the top half. They'll be possibly a top 10 fight for a title. So.
And speaking of bowling, we just had a podcast with head bowling coach Brandon Brooks. That's available on iTunes. Will be up on YouTube by the end of the day, hopefully today. So make sure you go check that out. Really good stuff with Coach Brandon Brooks, and gives you a little more insight on him and the bowling teams.
Yeah, Coffee with the Statesman, right?
And Coffee with the Statesman.
Coffee with the Statesman. So yeah, definitely check it out. You guys are doing an awesome job on those. All right. Once again, I think we're good. We're going to do this again in a week. All right. Thanks so much, Statesman Nation, for joining us on our weekly show, Inside the Playbook. We always have fun with it. I want to do another big special thanks to Ken and Ginger Alsop here from Oski News, allowing us to use their studio. We're here in awesome Penn Central Mall, looking right across the way. We'll be hopefully very soon be able to throw some axes over there. Maybe we'll host one over there pretty soon. So next week they're going to be opening. They're going to make sure I get the right name. Ironside axe throwing over there. So definitely check out Penn Central Mall. They got a lot of great things going on over here, and you know, check out some really cool pictures that are here in the studio that you can buy. You know, get a little glimpse of what Oskaloosa looks like. So. All right, guys. Thanks so much, and until next week, go Statesman.
Happy homecoming.
Happy homecoming. Happy homecoming. Thanks.